Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to go through some of my Hoya propagations that I will either pot up or I'm going to propagate some of my Hoyas. So stay tuned if that's something you want to watch. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first off, I think I'll check on the roots of my Hoya parasitica splash. So if the roots have started or are kind of long enough, I'm probably just gonna pot this up into soil. Like I said in all of my previous videos, I don't tend to like to grow my Hoyas in moss. I like to, over time, kind of change them over to soil. The leaves have kind of firmed up, so I feel like it probably did root. So yeah, let's take a look. I'm just gonna unpot this. So I have these in like 2-inch pots in just some good old sphagnum moss. Ooh, there's one fat looking root and that is it. Okay. So that's how that root is looking. It's kind of hard to see, but it's quite long and it's like kind of branched off too. The other parts I feel like roots are trying to come out, so it's probably just a matter of time. Let's move that over. Let's check this one. This one is a bigger cutting. It's because the nodes were all very close together, so it was a little hard to kind of chop it up into smaller pieces. There's definitely roots on this. So there were originally aerial roots, and since then it seemed to have grown 2 big roots. That's how this one looks like. So this one definitely has more roots. I think this one for sure is definitely good to go into soil. Should I put this one in as well? Yeah, I think I'm just a little lazy, so I'm just gonna pot them both up. So I'm gonna put them both into some soil and just hope for the best. Let me just clear up this moss. So I'm thinking of putting the 2 Hoya cuttings into this 3-inch clear orchid pot because that is all I have. And yeah, I have my soil mix in here, which is just 2 parts cactus soil and 1 part perlite. I think I want to add a little bit of bark in here too, just to kind of increase the drainage. I think I will add leca balls instead. So this is like just some leca that I had lying around. It came in another soil mix and I've cleaned it off and I'm just going to use it. So it helps increase drainage and kind of makes the soil more airy. So I'll just add a little bit of the leca balls to the mix. So I have my little pot here. Just gonna try to arrange it so that it looks like a nice full pot. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I always start off with a little bit of soil on the bottom. Put a few leca balls in there. I think one day, you know, when I'm just not so lazy, I do want to change a lot of my plants over to leca. I'm just really scared right now, and it's such an inconvenience to use leca because all your new plants don't come in leca. They honestly like never come in leca, so you have to convert everything from either soil, moss, water to leca, and that just seems like a lot of work and a big investment. So maybe one day it will happen. But for now, we will be happy with growing everything in soil. The benefit of leca is the watering schedule is a lot easier. So it's easier if you want to like go away on vacation. You just have to fill it maybe 1/3 of the way up with water, and then once it starts to evaporate, then you top it up with more water. But with soil, if it dries out when you're on vacation, what do? I guess that's what self-watering pots are for. Also, you can reuse leca, which is so cool. Like, you can't reuse any other medium because over time, like, soil degrades. And same with moss. So any organic medium will degrade. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So that's how this one's looking like. And I do like how that's clear because I guess if the roots ever grow out to that size, I can see it. And yeah, hopefully this doesn't rot on me anymore. Keep that on the side there. And I think I want to propagate my Hoya pachyclada. So this is the pachyclada white, meaning the flowers that it will have will be white. There's also a pink version, but I really do like the pachyclada just because it's kind of fuzzy and it's very like thick-leaved. But mine just hasn't been growing since I've gotten it. So it's been a few months now, and I see here where either a leaf fell off or there's just kind of like inactive nodes. So leaves didn't grow on those nodes. So I just want to chop it off kind of right below it. So this is the stem that I'm talking about, this one right here. And you can see here there's like quite a big bare stem here, and there's already some aerial roots growing, so I figured I would just chop it and put it into a separate little container and grow it. Should I grow it in moss? If I'm going to put it into a second container, I'm probably going to grow it in moss. If I'm just going to stick it back into the pot, which I'm kind of leaning towards. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stick it back into the pot to make a fuller plant. That way it's easier. So I have a pair of scissors, clean scissors. Just make sure if you're cutting other things, you disinfect them, wash them, whatever you want to do, just so you don't transfer any diseases. Well, that was easy. So when you chop it, usually with Hoyas, there's this like kind of white sap that comes out. It's super annoying, and I just don't want it to drip everywhere, which this one seems to be pretty well contained. So yeah, this is how it's looking like without that really tall piece. And I will, honestly, you should let it callus over. I am a little bit lazy, and I probably just will wait on watering it. I'll wait maybe like a day or something before I water the soil, so there's not really like a really high chance of rot. And the stem is so thick, I don't really think it will rot. But if you want to be extra careful, let it callus over before you shove it into any medium. So you do want to dig a little hole and stick the cutting as deep as it will go. So I'm just going to stick it down there. I think I need a little bit more soil, so let me just grab a little bit more. Because I see a little area root that's at the top that I want to kind of cover up. That's usually how I propagate some of my Hoyas. I literally stick it back into the pot just so it can be a little bit bigger, and it eventually grows, which is what happened with my manipurensis, my Thomsonii, and now hopefully in the future my pachyclada. So very easy. Sometimes I do root it in moss if I don't plan on adding it back into the pot, but if I'm just trying to make my plant bushier, it's just so much easier to put it into the same pot so you don't have to repot it later. So that's how this one's looking like. Very cute. I think it will look a lot better without that chunk kind of sticking out. So yeah, I don't want to cut any other part because they're very close together, making the stem part where the node is too short, and then I can't put it into the soil without it like tipping over or anything like that. What else do I want to do? I think I want to cut my manipurensis because it is so floppy. Let's see. Do you see it? It's just a little too much. I will just put it back into the pot so that it can just grow from there. Let's see. I do want to cut it a little bit shorter this time. Okay, so I cut off this piece, very long piece. Now my plant looks very short and stubby, but that's okay. So a good way to know if your plant is alive is when you cut your Hoya and it oozes out that white sap. It means it's alive and doing well. Okay, so I think I'll cut this one here. Okay, so now I have two pieces, and I'll just stick it back into the soil, and over time it will grow back. So this one is a super easy one to root, and you don't have to really worry about it. You just have to cover a node in the soil and just leave it at that. So this is what a node is. So over here, as long as you cover this part in soil, it will grow. I think I want to cut this part too, because this one's kind of tall. So this one's a little bit of a smaller piece, so I will just cover that piece. Let's find the spot. So it looks a lot better now. I like my Hoyas more bushy as opposed to just like tall. I'm not looking for this to be like really tall and lanky. I kind of just want a really bushy pot. So that's how it's looking like. I think it looks so much better. Can't wait for this to grow some roots and then start growing leaves. So that's that. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I want to add any more to this video. I did quite a bit already, so let's bring them all back. So potted up my Hoya parasitica splash. I propagated and put back into the pot for my pachyclada white and my Hoya manipurensis. So these three Hoyas are actually from Crystal Star Nursery, so pretty happy with them, and I just like to constantly be propagating my plants. I don't know about you, I'm just very scissor happy. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video and found it helpful in some way or another, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.